Coming to you from Queen and John, it's CityLine with Marilyn Dennis.
Hi, everybody. Oh, yeah, I caught that one, Joe. See, this guy in the red jacket up here, you know, he's not applauding until he's on camera. And then what does he do? Puts his hands over his head, and it's a revival meeting, you know? I had Dante Part 1. This is Dante School Part 2. Is that right? Welcome, everybody. Let's cheer for your school. And I understand Part 3 is tomorrow. All righty. Are you haunted by your ex, an old flame, or even your parents' relationship? We want you to give us a call. 416-870-7716 or 1-800-295-LINE. I love this. Are you haunted, because it's Halloween and all, by your ex or an old flame? Joe Rich is with us to spend the next hour ghost busting. Who are you going to call? Joe Rich. Your relationships and helping you move on with your life. So, who can haunt your relationships, Joe? Who can do that?
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
They are everywhere. It's an interesting topic in the sense that people are often battling ghosts from previous relationships. And, you know, you'll be in a relationship in the present, and there's something from the past.
It could be a song on the radio.
A song on the radio, a thought that you had about somebody, the phone rings, somebody mentions a city you've been to. There's a sense of, you know, in every new relationship, somehow we are haunted sometimes. I mean, we use the phrase haunted, sometimes pleasantly haunted. But sometimes we are really haunted by previous relationships. And that haunting or those kinds of triggers or reminiscences can make you angry, feel engaged, leave you feeling a whole series of feelings you don't want to feel. And, you know, I think this is something that everyone struggles with. I mean, at the beginning you say your parents, and we're not talking a lot about parents.
No, we're not really, but that happens
there you
too.
are in the kitchen and you hear something and you experience something and you know, you wind up responding to it, just briefly even, as if it's from a previous relationship. And then, of course, we find relationships, and the person brings everybody with them.
Oh, they bring the whole
everybody
all the
shows up. So I'm in the relationship with
luggage.
you and your ex and your first boyfriend and your family, and everybody's in the room. And, you know, I think for us, you know, in terms of talking with people, we look at this sometimes as quite troubling. I'd like to move forward. I'd like to enjoy this current relationship, but the ghosts of an old relationship are really haunting me, and I can't find my way out of it. And that's commonly a problem that people experience.
Well, sometimes it's because they're having difficulties with that ex, that old flame, or what have you, because they're haunting, as you say. And sometimes people are pining. We're talking about the haunting, not the pining, right? Because sometimes people just pine for those and only remember the good old days or the good moments of that time. And they're going through probably a slump right now in their current relationship. So, types of phone calls we're going to get today.
Well, I think everybody could call, but I think because I think this is true for everyone.
Everybody has a story, you kids, from Dante.
And burning inferno. But I think everyone has ghosts. But I think, as we say, for some people they're quite troubling. Some people, they find out that it's all about ghosts that they really miss, that they really want to be back in a relationship.
Or maybe how you got out of it.
And I think we can learn about unfinished business. I think it's a show also about unfinished business. This is my relationship now, and I haven't finished up my business in the previous one.
What would be when the red flag would go up if someone said, oh, no, I don't have any of those problems? Wouldn't that be a red flag? If somebody said, oh, no, I've dealt with all this ex-flame, ex-husband, ex-wife, ex-whatever.
Well, yes.
I mean, if you've done the work, good for you, but really, have they?
Yeah, I think they have, but I think you have to consciously do it as well. I think everybody, in terms of looking at the ghosts of their relationship, have to consciously do the work to finish up their business. And then the ghosts are present, but they're not in charge of the relationship. It becomes a problem. There's a certain point where it's normal, and there's a certain point where it becomes a problem to your relationship.
The other side of this, too, is maybe you're the mate of someone who is haunted, and that you might want to help them, or maybe they don't even notice that they're doing that.
Absolutely.
So we'll take calls like that today as well.
Absolutely. You know, in a situation where you have an ex who has all the pictures from the previous relationship all over the house, there's a sense that would be a ghost-like experience where you're living with them and you're living in their place, and the walls are filled with pictures of not their kids and not family pictures, but wedding pictures and ex pictures and all kinds of stuff. That sense of, boy, this is haunting our relationship.
Well, you know what they do
now? It's not your own ghost always.
You know what they do now? You take those pictures in and they can eliminate somebody from the picture. You know, I think that's pretty funny. Anyway, we're going to take your calls coming up right after these messages. Oh, boy, that's an old thing to say, but anyway, that's what we're going to do. We'll be right back.
Prostate cancer puts an end to birthday celebrations for 12 Canadian men a day. Guys, if you're 50 or over and haven't been checked out for possible signs, then it's about time your prostate met a nice doctor. Don't wait till the party's over. Get a checkup.
The Guy album, 18 tunes for guys who like 18 tunes, featuring Kid Rock, the Black Crowes, the Blues Brothers, Bloodhound Gang, Space Hogs, Spinal Tap, Dennis Leary, David Wilcox, and Tom Wilson. Also featuring Stevie Ray Vaughan, Stompin' Tom Connors, George Clinton, and more. Don't ask for directions to your favorite music store and put the seat down.
It's elegant, and it's sweet, and it's fun, and that's what I love about it. Coming at you 24 hours a day.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's a monument to the imagination.
7 pieces involve me completely covering my body in paint.
Fashion is about the inside, you know, coming through.
You're watching Fashion Television Channel. Try it on the size. I think it might fit.
The Pope has been responsible, in my estimation, for killing more people than he'll ever be acknowledged.
Weeknights on Sex TV.
It's just like I'm not part of it. I just want to go home.
Sex documentaries with a global perspective.
I would grab a man off the street and shag him in a shop window. I really would.
From the White House to your house.
You've got to make people understand that there is something between your ears and not just between your legs.
Sex, lives, and videotape. Weeknights on Sex TV. Coming up on Sex TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Talk Tuesday. We've got therapist Joe Rich with us today. We're talking about, are you haunted by an ex-flame or an ex or just, you know, anybody? You haunted by anybody? Heather, are you?
I am, yes.
Who?
I have an ex-boyfriend that we were together in a relationship for 7 years, and I think just because the timing was wrong, it was one of those things that if it had been a different time and we had been different times in our lives, something may have come of it.
How long ago did you break up?
It's been 8 years.
But the relationship was 7 years. You've been separate for 8 years, and you're with somebody new now.
I'm remarried, and I have a son, and I'm happily married, but I still dream about this man. It affects my daily life, as you were saying, when you hear a song or you hear, or you come across some pictures when you're going through a box, and my heart still flutters when I think about him, and I'll wake up from a dream, and the feeling will just stay with me for the whole day. And it's been such a long time. I don't really know whether this is normal or do other people experience this? And will I ever get over it?
Is it every day that you experience this?
Not every day, but once or twice in a week. It'll happen enough that you don't ever forget.
How's your relationship right now?
With my husband?
Yes.
It's good. It's normal, I would say. We have our ups and downs, but we're close, and
you're not
we're not having any big
major
problems, no.
Because everybody has problems, but
you're not going through it's up and down, you know. But
have you heard from this gentleman from the past recently, or spotted him, or did a girlfriend see him?
We had contact up until he got married. Well, actually, after he got married, he called me and said that they had a son together, and so we had a good, an amicable breakup. We did speak to each other for a while afterwards, until I became involved with my husband, and he became involved with the woman that he married. And even after that, we still spoke, but it's been about 2 years now since we've talked.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm really glad that you called. Yeah, you don't run into him at all.
I don't run into him, and he's not in my circle of friends, so it's
really... Is your husband
really
aware of this?
No,
not
really.
Okay, all right. Joe, I don't know what the window of time is when you're supposed to get rid of them. I mean, history is history. However, I'm a little concerned if she's thinking about him a couple of times during the week and dreaming about him, or is that pining or haunting?
Heather, are you still there?
I am, yeah.
So you're talking about this, but it's troubling you. Is that? I'm not sure what the question is. Is this a pleasant memory, and you're telling us a bit about it, or is it something that's
sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't.
Sometimes
you know, it is. It's just the fact that I continue to think about him, and I wonder whether I'll ever stop thinking about him.
Yeah.
You know, and was it, you know, maybe.
One of your first questions was, is it normal? You know?
Is it normal to pine over somebody after this length of time when you are in another relationship and you've gone on with your life, or
right.
you feel like you've gone on with your life in every other aspect except this.
Right.
You still think about this person and wonder what would have happened if the timing had been different, if things had been not the way they were at the time, and that's a long history to get into. But
okay, all right. Well, let's help you with this, okay?
Well, you know, first of all, I mean, my first response is it is a long time. I mean, we hear people talk about, you know, 8 years later, 10 years later, they're walking down the street, they say, oh, gee, I'm thinking about somebody, something happens. But they don't talk about waking up in the middle of the night, dreaming about the person twice a week, maybe getting lost in it, being stuck with the memory all day. You know, some of this stuff is more exaggerated than what we generally hear about in terms of people reflecting on past relationships. And, you know, there are two directions to go. One of them is, Heather, is this a comment on your current relationship? In other words, are you going back to a place that feels really good because things aren't going well right now, which people do? And it sounds like not. It sounds like she's in a fairly normal relationship, ups and downs, good and bad, regular days.
You don't think a little bit?
Very hard to know, but this is how you would assess it. You would look to say, well, is this me going back to a better place because right now is not a very happy time for me? And the second step to it is there unfinished business? You know, not to read too much into it, but there is a sense of regret here. And, you know, how do we reconcile those feelings that we should have or could have, or what if? Yes. You know, that whole kind of what if game that we play. What if I had, you know, gone here, and what if it would have been today? And, you know, I think that's part of the unfinished business. So I know it sounds like pining, but it also feels like haunting. You know, it feels a little bit like there's something that's sort of needling and haunting on a constant basis. And I would advocate that Heather sit down and really finish this up. Really let go of the issue of what if. Really try and finish up the relationship. And I think this is what I was saying at the beginning.
When you say what if, you just say, you know what, it didn't happen, so there is
no
what if.
You actually sit down and say, you know, if I'm spending twice a week saying what if, then I'm going to put some time aside on a Monday evening on my own when my partner's not home and the kids are busy. And I'm going to really think through this what if. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? And really consciously spend some time on this. What's happening now is Heather wakes up in the morning and has an experience and thinks about it. Or she walks down the street and hears a song and thinks about it, but she's not actually spending enough time in the act of thinking about it. Okay. She really sit down and say,
but she's not,
what am I doing? Because in some ways you also start to punish yourself. Yeah. You know, that's like the people who say, well, you know, I should have bought gold at, you know, $100 an ounce.
I should have bought into Trivial Pursuit.
Right, and it's like constant Bre-X. And it's a sense of, okay already, with the Bre-X and the gold and the should have, because that's, you know, lingering and regret to some degree. So unlike people who experience this as a warm memory, it turns out it might be possible regret.
All right. Thanks for your call, Heather. We wish you well. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
All right. Tell us your story.
Okay, it's a little weird.
No story is too weird here on CityLine.
I'm divorced for a year, separated for 2. Yep. I was married for 10. And my ex-husband, he was abusive at the end of it, so that's why I left. Okay. My mother and my stepfather have nothing to do with him. However, he continues to socialize with my brother, my sister, my cousin at every given opportunity. And I'm currently in a new relationship, and the guy is wonderful. But he's being affected because my kids go for visitation. They come home and say, well, Daddy took us to see Uncle so-and-so and Aunt so-and-so and my cousins, and he's spending all his free time with my family, which is making it really uncomfortable for us. I don't really want to...
I hear that happens a lot when a divorce happens. Let's just stop right there, because I know you've got a question, but and I don't know how normal it is, but I hear that when it's you called it off, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So then, you know, and I'm sorry it was abusive. I'm glad you got out. They're not quite finished yet, so they keep I think it's interfering, going into her family. you know, and spending time. I think
Which
that
you
is,
think is interfering.
I think that's interfering. Look, it's over.
You've made that clear.
Yeah. But, you know, but that's uncomfortable. It's not only, I mean, think of the end of your story. I mean, that's an awful thing that happened. Do they not know how your story ended?
They do. My brother is very aware of it. I haven't really discussed it in great depth with my cousin.
Yeah.
I even asked my brother, I said, you know, it really bothers me. It upsets me to know that you're still socializing with him after our past. My brother was even at some of the court hearings with us. And I understand my brother's point of view. He grew up with my ex-husband, but it's driving us crazy. My house.
Where's your allegiance? That's what I would ask. But anyway, I'm not the therapist. That's why Joe's going to answer your question. What is your question?
How do I deal with my family and say, look, it's upsetting me because I really don't want my ex-husband's girlfriend interfering in my personal life with my family. It's upsetting my current boyfriend who is like, well, I'm trying to make inroads here with your family, but how can I when your ex-husband's still walking around? You know, he's in their face all the time that he won't leave them alone. It's like he has no other friends but my family. So how do I, you know, do I just come right out and say to my family, well, you're going to have to choose him or I, or do I just try and accept it and keep swallowing it and not react? I'm at a loss as to how to handle this.
I'm glad that you called, Michelle. Joe?
You know, what's happening, Michelle, is that you're giving us, you know, do I do this or this? You know, and this happens, I think, sometimes in our own decision-making. It's a really important issue, so we think, well, either I keep swallowing or I tell them it's him or I. Pick one. And there's a lot of space in between those two polar opposites. You know, those are two completely opposite directions to go. I don't think either of them is going to be particularly healthy. I think you need to find a spot in the middle. I think what you need to do is let your family know in very clear terms how this feels for you and what's going on for you and what's going on for your new partner, and then let them behave however they behave. If they behave in one fashion, then unfortunately you get a relationship that isn't terribly close with them because they put obstacles in the way. If they behave in another fashion or they reorganize their relationship with your ex-husband so that they can have both at the same time, that's great too. But I think Michelle wants to either, you know, give an ultimatum or swallow and not say anything. I think you say exactly what's going on for you, almost like making a declaration to your family. This is who I am, this is how it feels, and this is what's going on for me. And I have to let everybody know that. I'm not going to tell people how to behave. You know, you can't say to your family, you can't invite him, you can't have him over, you can't do this. You can just say the way it's going, this is my experience of it, and it's not what I really would like to have happen with my family. I think whether he has any family or not is really not her issue. You know, I think that's outside of her control as well.
And if they decide to continue this relationship, then she has to decide like we do when we do our annual Christmas show.
Yeah, if they
just don't participate in some of the stuff that they do.
Yeah, and it's not what you want, but on the other hand, outside of pretending you can control all these adults' behavior, nothing really that you can do. And it's an unfortunate situation to be in. And we do, just so you will know, Michelle, we do see very healthy models where the woman, for example, yourself, maintains a very strong relationship with her family of origin. Her ex-husband has a nice relationship with the family of origin with some appropriate boundaries.
Good.
And everybody makes it work. And they make it work for the kids. So there is a piece of this that probably is really good for the kids, but I don't want to stress that too much because the rest of it is really exaggerated stuff. Okay. But, you know, you got to shift the boundaries. You know, Michelle's family cannot say, well, you're separated, we're maintaining the exact same relationship with your ex-husband. It's not a possibility. No. You have to respond to the transitions of this couple's separation, and 2 years later, this couple's divorced, and then this couple bringing two new partners in.
That's right.
Her family cannot pretend and sit in the same spot and say, well, we're best friends with everybody. It's not a possibility.
No. Right on. Okay. Up next, we'll show you a technique you can use to rid yourself of all that unfinished business. Oh, can't wait to see that. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan here with a great new invention. It's called the Pro Trim Shielded Paint Roller. And if you've ever painted a room before, you know how long it takes to tape up and cut in with a small brush. The Pro Trim changes the way you paint. It's a self-guiding mini roller that does the hard work for you. Place the shield against the trim and the roller against the wall and let your woodwork be your guide. It's like a train on a railroad track. Right or left-handed, it gives you a clean, professional look wall to wall. The clever design presses the paint to its finest point. No paint leaks underneath, and you get a straight edge every time. Here's how it works. Load the roller with the paint, adjust the spring-loaded arm with one hand, and let your woodwork be your guide. Use it up high on crown molding. Save time by painting around fixtures and fittings like light switch plates or lamps. It's great for windows and door frames too. It's small enough to paint furniture like bookshelves. By the time you were to tape this window up, you have to finish with Pro Trim. The Pro Trim is specially designed to fit into small areas like bathrooms, where it'll glide around mirrors, cabinets, and ceramic tile. When you remove the shield, getting into tight areas and feathering out rough spots for uniform texture is easy too. Because there's nap on the inside, it'll paint both sides of an inside corner, saving you time. Use it outside on lap siding and fencing. The Pro Trim works with oil, latex, or stains, and the rollers are refillable, replaceable, and rewashable. Even expensive electric rollers like this can't cut in like the Pro Trim. It comes complete with the paint tray and the instructional guide. But call in the next 5 minutes, and we'll include 3 extra rollers, a $15 value, free. That means you get the ready-to-use Pro Trim, the paint tray, the guide, and 3 extra rollers. So call this number right now. Here's how to order.
To order the amazing ready-to-use Pro Trim, call 1-800-537-8845 and get the extra 3 rollers, a $15 value, free. Call 1-800-537-8845 or send check or money order to the address on your screen.
I know why.
Hello and welcome back. I'm laughing just because I'm nervous. Are you watching CityLine? It is Talk Tuesday. We're talking about being haunted by an ex, an old flame, and Joe's going to teach us something today that we're supposed to do. It's the empty chair. What is this empty chair?
Well, I thought maybe we could talk about this for a couple of minutes. You know, it's really it comes from Gestalt theory, actually. But you know, it's called the empty chair because one of the dilemmas you have is that you're not finished your business, but the person isn't there. You've already moved forward. You already got a husband and 2 kids, and the person isn't there. And you know, we see this sometimes in a therapeutic environment, where a person will really want to finish up something and the parent has died, or they don't want to talk to their ex anymore, but it's a burning issue for them, whether it's to express love or anger or resentment or guilt, whatever it may be. Yeah. They're walking around feeling it all the time. They can't get rid of it, almost in the way we talk about exercising the ghost. But it's called the empty chair, and all it is really establishing that here is the empty chair, taking a few minutes to think about, okay, this person is in this empty chair right now, and I have some things I really want to say to them. And there's nobody else around. You can do it in an empty room. So I'm not afraid of anybody hearing what I want to say. I'm not afraid of saying anything. And when I start to speak in that way, other stuff will come up as well. It's like free association. And I start to talk, and I say, you know, I'm really mad at you about this, and that day when you did this. And then there's a sense of, you can really start to, it's cathartic. You can get this stuff off your chest and start to finish your business. And you can't really do it in a public spot, and it's very hard to do with somebody else except a professional in the room, because it's very private. Sometimes the unfinished business is as private as thinking of somebody else, or as private as your thoughts or your feelings, or smelling a cologne and realizing it reminds you of someone that you're still angry with or still in love with. And you need to finish this business up. It does haunt you to some degree. So the empty chair is almost a therapeutic technique. And it really, in our everyday lives, it's like screaming at the person in the car. You know, you're driving along and you had a really bad day at work and you can't scream at the boss.
How many of you have had conversations in your car lately?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And you're
pretending
yelling.
You've got a car phone.
Oh,
yes.
Yes. When you find out someone's looking. Oh, yes. But, you know, there's a sense of being in the car or writing a journal. You know, finding yourself sitting down and writing a journal and writing. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely.
I know our friend Oprah really likes that a lot. I'm thinking, I don't have time to write a journal. And you know what? I don't want anyone to read my journal.
Well, you can throw it out. You can tear it out.
I read my diary, and it's haunted me ever
Oh,
since
there
then.
you go. You see? So in your diary, you write a note to your sister. The first page is a note to your sister about feeling invaded and feeling angry. You don't have to call her. You don't have to talk to her. And then next time you speak to her, or next time you think of her, you may be less angry. So you can use it as you can really use it as a way to, I mean, in this book, for example, they use the phrase to purge yourself, which I don't use that phrase, but you can really use it to get it off your chest, to let it go. And I'll tell you, sometimes it is an amazing, amazing experience, particularly for all of us. We face so much separation and divorce. We see so many people who are going to drive over to their ex's house and they're going to tell their ex as if something incredible has happened and their ex is really going to sit there and be interested or
say,
talk to them about it.
All right, I understand
Yeah, I
your side
understand.
of it.
I'm glad you came over. I really understand. I don't think that's coming
No.
to you. So there's a sense of, you know, you could really do this, and if it feels better, it's something you can just go after. And, you know, people often say, well, you know, if he was here right now, boy, would I give him a piece of my mind. And the answer is, go ahead. Which piece of your mind would you give him?
That's right.
Well, and it's amazing how you get right into the role, right into the place, and at the end you sort of say to yourself, my God, I can't believe I've been thinking all that stuff.
Do you feel better?
And you feel better.
And you probably have a great sleep that night, too.
You might.
Yeah.
You might.
Yeah, all righty. That's how you do it. All right, well, we're not going to do any more empty chair stuff because we've got lots of phone calls to get. But we're going to take a break first. We'll be right back. That's really a good thing to do.
No time to work out? Fed up with all those exercise videos that become repetitive? Tired of all those ab products that force you onto the floor? Now, here's the easiest way to get your body in the shape you want it. The future of fitness is finally here. Introducing the amazing Abtronic Fitness System. Get ready to firm, tone, and tighten your upper abs, lower abs, and love handles with no sweat. Abtronic is the electronic dream machine that will show you immediate improvement without strenuous, time-consuming workouts. You'll develop that six-pack you've always wanted in the easiest way imaginable. Abtronic is very safe and simple to use. You control the 10 intensity levels, and you have a choice of 6 different exercise programs to choose from. Then, amazingly, watch as your ab muscles contract as if you're doing a sit-up. That's right, your muscles are moving, but you are not. Abtronic will work you out while watching television, shopping, working, walking, any place you want, any time you want. 10 minutes on the Abtronic is the equivalent of 600 sit-ups. That's why we guarantee you'll lose 2 inches off your midsection in less than a month or your money back.
I noticed that my abdominals were more cut. They had more definition, which is what I was looking for.
You can also target your arms, chest, buns, or thighs. And because there are no wires or pads, you can even wear Abtronic under your clothes, and no one will know it's there but you. Abtronic is not available in stores. This special TV offer is the only place you can get it. Other electronic machines sell for as much as $600, but Abtronic is available to you right now for 5 payments of $29.95. But hold on, for a limited time, you can purchase Abtronic for only 4 easy payments of $29.95. That's 1 full payment off the normal price. You'll also get an easy-to-read instruction manual, the exclusive Abtronic Advanced Weight Loss Booklet, and a spare battery.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-537-8845. Abtronic is just 4 easy payments of $29.95 plus shipping and handling. Or send check or money order to the address on your screen. This offer is not available in stores, so don't delay. Call 1-800-537-8845 now.
Wait, Lisa's on the phone for Joe and I. Hi there, Lisa.
Hi, Marilyn.
What's going on?
Well, I had a past boyfriend where I was involved with him. He was manipulative. I felt like he was lying to me a lot.
Yeah.
So now I feel like with this present boyfriend that that I can't trust him as much as I would like to.
Wow. Tell me an example of how you were manipulated by this ex.
Well, he would say, well, you know, if you don't do this for me, then I'd leave you, and I loved him a lot, so, you know.
Anything for him.
Yeah.
And how long ago did you guys break up?
About 2 or 3 years ago.
And did you do it? Did you do the breaking?
No, he did.
He did, okay. So now you're with a pretty nice guy?
Yeah, he's great to me.
Okay, but you're a little fearful of that past haunting you and that kind of pattern of behavior?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, are you falling into it already? A little bit?
No, not that I can say, but, you know, I just still have a hard time. You know, I feel scared a lot with him, and, you know.
Okay, quickly, Lisa, what's your question? I know Joe's got some things he wants to tell you.
I just want to know, like, how can I build my trust with him, like, in me, saying, you know, to myself, that he's not going to do it, would be manipulative to me and emotionally abusive.
How long have you been going out with this guy?
So 2 or 3 years now.
Okay, so the guy that you had been with, you broke up 2 or 3 years ago?
Well, yeah, and then...
right after that, you met this other guy.
Excuse me, I have to